So kind of how earlier what I was doing was I actually finished the song. Like I was like, all right, I'm just going to power through the breakdown into the end of the song. And that's just how it's going to be. That's what I'm going to do now is I want to start at the very beginning and just like not jump around anymore, but get every single component ready to go. I can already think of something I forgot to do at the end, and we'll have some stuff like that. But I just want to see what it's like to start this thing and take it through to completion. So anyways, I know what I have to do is insert a new omnisphere because I've run out of room to play with what I had. So all right, so what I want to do now is come up with a cool pad sound to start this thing off. Something kind of alien, and it could be really digital sounding. I can hear the latency popping. I'm on the verge of really overloading this computer. I want to create a cool thing, but we have this new hardware library that was introduced with Omnisphere 2.5, and it's all patches that are based off of these analog synthesizers that now integrate into Omnisphere. So like hypothetically, they're all very like analog. I really like this one. And of course it's using the oscillators are all modeled from the actual synth that these patches are made from and all of that sort of, so it's pretty cool. This one I think is pretty clear where they got the inspiration from. Anyways, I want to see if they have some noise stuff, textures, soundscape. Let's see if there's any new ones, anything. So these are from the Korg Mini, I guess. Serious. All right, cool. Let's take this patch and we'll just record a little something. So let's take this, and I think it'll have the automation written in to the mod wheel. Let's see, it should be here. Mod wheel. Yep, it's got it. It's right in there. So I can disable record. All right, so what I want to do is just freeze this track to stereo. Now we've got this and it's frozen, so I don't even have to worry about it. And in fact, I don't even have to put it on this track, and I won't. I'm going to insert a new track here, and we'll bring it down. We'll call this Omnisphere. What was the name of the patch? It was Mystery Rings Low. So we'll just call it Omnisphere. Right? Drag and drop. Now we can use this MIDI again someplace else. And we have this track. So let's use some ReaQ to... And let's, this 500 is around where we have that ring. I want to add some beef to this sound, so I'm going to make a low shelf. Something like that. And then we'll just add a shitload of reverb. And then pull it to the back. Fade it in. All right, so we can use that kind of as a layer, but let's come up with something else that we can use. And we'll go find a sample that we like. Textures. And then let's go to darkness. Or maybe we'll go to sci-fi, but it might be darkness. And I love scrolling through these. I actually think that Cobalt Drops was the best that I heard. All right, so let's use this. And let's use a filter, turn the key tracking off, the envelope off. I've been going pretty quickly through some of the synthesis, but I got to get this song done. So what I'm doing is I'm telling the synthesizer not to use the filter to move this parameter. And the key tracking will just, if this is where it's at, as I go higher up on the keyboard, it'll change the note. But I don't want that. I want it just to stay wherever I put it. So what I'm doing is trying to just get the noise. So without the filter on, you get that buzz. And now I'm just getting those cool noises. And then what we'll do is we'll make our own kind of drone. And we can go to classic waveforms. And I haven't played with any of these new X-fade shapes. Yeah, distorted triangle 4X shapes. Gotta check it out. Wow, I don't even know what to do with this. So down 24. All right, so what we can do is we can modulate this with an LFO, and now it's going to sweep through. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm surprised. That's a pretty good thing. But what I want to do is change this shape from a sine wave to just randomness. Increase the rate. Just so we get some kind of random movement in there. Pretty cool. Now we're going to add some unison. See how it sounds with all the depth. I love adding some drift in. This analog model drift is just so powerful. What it does is it just lets the synthesizer really, kind of become just its own monster. Alright, sounds pretty good, tough drone without even any filtering going on. So what we can do now is we can set up two filters. In this case, I want to do let's do a notch filter, and then we'll run them in series. So that'll run into the second filter. The envelope and the key tracking are off. So I'm going to leave the first filter off and turn this into a low pass filter real quick. And bring it down pretty low so that we're getting mostly just the bass of this drone. And then we'll turn that off for a second, and we'll find we'll use this offset so we can sweep through and find what we like. what we can do is we can modulate this with an LFO. Maybe we won't use an elf, or we'll get it really tight. So it's a pretty big ballsy patch. That should have automatically jumped to LFO 2. Wow, I can see how slow my computer's going. We've just got a lot going on. So yeah, LFO 2. What we can do is just set this to a rate. And now, if we add some release, we can lock these two. Or, well, for now, I'll unlock it, and we'll just add some release. Like that, and some attack. And we might as well turn this on and do the exact same thing. Just add some release and some attack. What I want to do is, now we've got this sounding pretty good, but if we go into the effects here, we can add some EQ to down here. So even though it's a really dark sound, by boosting a lot with a shelf, we can increase its presence even though there's very little info there. That way it's a little less like just boomy. Let's tighten the attack a little bit because we need it to come in pretty quickly. All right, let's see how it sounds in the mix right now. So I'm just curious what it'll sound like right here. If you don't have anything selected and you hold Control and you drag, it'll draw in a MIDI file. So let's just open this. Sounds very analog, minus the, glitchy sounds. So let's see what it sounds like. And then this needs a little bit more low end too. So what we can do is Studio EQ, get everything from below 500 and or even maybe 1,000. Let's go in here and we'll unlock these. And I'm going to turn the release on this down. And we'll turn the release up on this. Alright, so let's check again. Alright, let's turn the attack all the way on this. I forgot I have 4 layers. I could add another fucking whole thing into this thing. Which I think I'm gonna do, because why not? So let's find another sample. Let's try this one. And what we'll do is we'll add something like we had here, which is what was this, 10 seconds of release? So let's add 10 seconds of release, and we'll make it really slow it to attack too. How much do I have to add? All right, let's see. Try this. So So I'm scooping down the attack, so it takes longer to come in. Now what we can do is do a little bit of, just some compression. So I'm going to use the precision compressor. Go to,
How far back can we see in time? We've risen from the ashes of stars.
try this one.
Riding
See
the
how it sounds.
waves and seasons of time.
So it's boosting the sustain a bit, for sure. I like it. That's good. Now, what we'll do is we will load a RIA comp so we can do some side chaining. We need a receive from the kick drum. So the kick's gonna get really loud for a second, or if I'll just stop. And we'll get a receive from the kick drum. Hey, Mako. How's it going, buddy? Cat's here. Can't really see him, but he's there. And we'll route that to channels 3 and 4. We'll set the detector input to the auxiliary. And what we'll do is we'll get this to pump here. We were having good results around 300 milliseconds before, right? Let's listen how it sounds. And what we'll do is we'll add a trim volume here. And so it's cutting by about 6. So I'm gonna guesstimate that we want to add maybe 6 might be a little much. So let's split the difference and do 3 and see how that sounds. So it should have the same presence, but just the kick will cancel some of it. And we'll add a little pre-compression too. What the fuck? What we can do to increase the, the glory of this, like to a little more impact, is we'll just bring the overall track volume down. What I'm trying to do is get the kick a little bit louder so it feels more like an intro relative to the rest of the song.